friends and brothers. Welcome to Masonic Improvement. I am Dennis Yates with my co host, Justin Jones. And tonight we are so pleased to have our dear friend and brother, Dave McHam, with us. Many of you know him as the artificer of all things good in Waco. I know him as a dear friend and my personal savior of the Grand Lodge, and most of the rest of you know him as the grandest. Uh, what's your actual title? Your administrative. You're the
I'm,
administrator. The
I like to say I'm like Dwight Schrute. I'm assistant to the Grand Secretary. I'm not assistant Grand Secretary. I'm assistant to the Grand
Yes,
Secretary.
but we all know who gets it done. No,
I don't know
actually,
what my
we
title is. It changes from week to week. But I think Brad calls me most of the time. I'm the office lead at the Grand Secretary's office.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, you are definitely that, and you are very appreciated. I I couldn't have thought about doing the job I do as secretary of the two lodges I am without having you at Grand Lodge, because I know that if something needs to be done, it gets handled, and with no ifs, ands, or buts, and so that's I'm very glad you're there.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your kind words. We try very hard.
Well, tonight our show is going to be what to do at the grand annual communication. And just so happens we have the artificer of all good things Waco with us. But really it's because, Dave is you know neck deep in all of the stuff that's going on. And it is especially all things Waco. You really do shuffle around as a member of the aren't you a member of the oh my gosh, I'm just having
Uh,
brain farts
yeah,
tonight.
I'm an ambassador of the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah.
Ambassador of the Chamber of Commerce, there you go. And
Yeah,
you are always on the move.
I'm pretty plugged in. I like our business community. They really seem to take care of each other. There's a lot of business doing business with each other, and I really like that. And, Waco's real good about that. They're real good about supporting each other, and so they've been real supportive of anything I come up with, and so I try to get behind all their stuff too. And it's just been fun to watch Waco grow into a kind of a destination city. There for a while, we were second only behind San Antonio as the most visited city in the state of Texas. So,
Wow.
yeah, been
Wow,
pretty
that's
cool.
big. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is. And I apologize for butchering, what you do. In Goliad, in the little bitty city of Goliad, everybody everyone is members of the same committees all around town, and so it all
Yeah.
blurs together after a while. We all see each other at every meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So last year you came on with us and you gave us the rundown of everything that's going on. Um, before anything, before we start the big discussion on the events of the weekend, um, what can people expect with hotels if they haven't gotten their hotel yet? I
Oh, yeah.
have, but
Okay, yeah. That's a great question. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at it, but in the October Grand Secretary's monthly communication, there's a link in there on the I think the second page. If you scroll through the October monthly communication, there's a link in there to a website I built specifically for Grand Annual Communication, and I put on that link. I'm looking at it right now. I put on that link all the hotels that are offering discounts in Waco just for us. So the Grand Secretary and we took several weeks and we went around and we visited every single hotel and we told them what we had going on. We were like, here's what's happening. We need your best price. We need your best price for that weekend. And so we went around and so on this web page, I just put links to each hotel. So if you click on the picture of the hotel that you're interested in, and I put them all on here, the Even, the Cambria, the Hyatt Place, the Aloft, and then there's a Holiday Inn and Express for a real good, pretty cheap night per night stay. So I put them all on there, and there'll be more as we go along. I'll be adding more because we keep getting more hotels who are calling in, going, because they have these monthly meetings at the hotels, and they're talking about our session, and the Grand Secretary and I went around and just told everybody, look, hey, if you guys keep jacking up the prices on the hotels, you're going to cause us a problem with our annual meeting. And it's unfair that you're using this dynamic pricing because we used to get hotels that were in the $100 a night range, and now we're looking at $300-$400 a night just because we're having our session, and it's not fair. And so I think we've negotiated down some really good rates. You'll be able to look on this website. You'll be able to book a hotel, and as that block fills up, I'll be taking those links down. So you won't be going to an empty block, and you won't be able to book a night stay at a hotel, or there won't be one on there that'll catfish you.
Yes,
You'll be
that's a
able to
great idea.
log in there and pick a hotel. A lot of people have their favorites. I notice a lot of people will just stay. We always stay at this hotel. When I start posting the broader list, you'll be able to see if your favorite hotel's on there and get your per night stay. And I know Hilton's giving a break still, and of course the new Newberry Hospitality Suite gathering that I'll talk about later is going to be in the Hilton. So a lot of people just like to stay there. So there'll be some of your all-time favorites and some new ones. We were able to have the deputy training this year in this past August at the Cambria Hotel, which is one of
Oh,
our
nice.
one of our newer hotels in town. And the feedback from everybody was the hotel was just great. And so we were able to get a $149 a night, which is much cheaper than the Hilton was last year. We were
Yes.
coming in at like 160 something a night in the Hilton last year, and we're coming in at 149 a night at the Cambria, and it's within walking distance of the Hilton. So
Now, isn't the Cambria, isn't that the one that was just restored that used to be the old shrine building?
no, now that's Hotel 1928. That is
Oh, okay,
where
there we go.
our Grand Lodge Gala is going to be. I'll talk about that later, but we're going to have a big party there in that hotel. So we'll all get a chance to get some eyes on that hotel. It's going to be a real fun experience to bring a lot of Masons back into the old shrine building. But that is Hotel 1928, and it is the one that's cl in closest proximity to the Grand Lodge. But we they only have 20 rooms, and I think they're already all taken for the grand annual communication. So
Oh, I bet they were
yeah,
pretty quick on the. I know I actually got my room like 6 months ago. That's just what you do when you plan on it every year.
really
But
smart.
not everybody does, and that's why I wanted to make sure and touch base on that. And
Yeah,
I appreciate all the hard work you do because you're absolutely right. I have watched the prices slowly increase over the years,
man.
and some of them have gotten crazy. But y'all have actually got some of those back down to respectable prices again. So that's great. I
Yeah, I think
appreciate
that
that.
one offering on there that's $129 a night. It's a Holiday Inn Express, but if you're just looking for a room, you're not traveling with your family, bare bones, right? But it's still a brand new hotel. It's within 6 months of opening, and so you're looking at a brand new hotel. And I mean, Holiday Inn is what it is, but it's going to deliver that consistent, clean bedroom. And sometimes when I'm traveling without the family, that's all I need. I don't need any frills. I don't need any excitement. Just give me a clean bedroom and somewhere I can take a shower. And
That's
129 a night's hard to beat.
Yeah, that's me. I mean, and especially with Grand Lodge, with all the things happening at Grand Lodge, there's a lot of brothers that are coming in on a budget so that they can take advantage of all the things happening in Grand Lodge. I totally get it. Totally
Yeah,
get
and
it.
that 129 a night is a double room. And so you get a double queen on that 129 a night. Two guys could split that and make it even more affordable. So that really starts getting into a real tasty budget if you got a buddy that you don't mind sharing a room with. So
That's a fact. Just don't invite Justin Jones.
I was gonna say, Dennis will never
We-
share another hotel with me.
yeah. That
Yeah.
happened one. That happened
The
one
CPAP
time. We'll
machine make
never
too
have
much
me.
noise at night? Is that what it is?
I would have prayed for a CPAP machine,
Probably need one as bad as I was snoring.
but the rum didn't help any. It didn't. Oh man. All right.
And I
So
should say, I would be remiss if I didn't say every hotel that we've made a partnership with, I believe, is also going to be a bus pickup. So you can park at your hotel and catch a ride to the Grand Lodge, right from the front of your hotel, dropped right off at the front of the Grand Lodge. So parking
wow.
is not an issue if you're staying at one of our hotels that we've worked with, one of the hotels that
That's a
we've sat with. Yeah,
yes, that is value.
yeah,
Out of everything else, that in itself is the value of the week for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Justin, do you have anything to add to that particular part of it? Or are you just
I'm an hour away. I commute, but that sounds great.
well, I sure do appreciate it because I always have to get a hotel. Um, and I know that there's a lot of other brothers that appreciate it as well. So um that being said, now that we're through the hotels, now you just mentioned my next question, which was parking, and you did mention the buses from the hotels that that are through the website.
Yep.
Um, what can you tell us about parking?
Okay, so I know we're probably talking to your audience who's probably preaching to the choir here. But that back parking lot is inadequate for our membership, and Right Worshipful Billings would like very much to make that back parking lot reserved for Grand Lodge officers and those with mobility issues.
Yes.
We get a lot of requests, man, from folks who feel like they're entitled to a parking spot back there, and I get it. It's kind of a flex if you got a parking pass for the parking lot, but man, it breaks my heart. Every Grand Lodge, you'll see that one brother on a walker having to walk 2 blocks from his parked spot because there's an able-bodied person who's taken up one of the parking spots in the back of the Grand Lodge of Texas. And if we could leave as many of those spots as open as possible, I had a brother last year who came up to the window in the Grand Lodge in the Grand Secretary's office, and he was like, "I need a parking pass," and I said, "I'm sorry, they're all handed out," and he was like, "But I just had my leg amputated." And I'm like,
Mm.
I'm so sorry. We handed all these out, earlier in the year, and we made the announcement in the Grand Secretary's monthly communication. And he goes, "Well, nobody reads that." And I went, I don't know how else we could have I don't know how else we could have broadcast that to everybody, but we really, really and genuinely should be leaving that for guys who have trouble walking around. And so, um, but if you can't get a spot back there, if you miss out and you don't get a handicap parking spot in the back, we have worked out with the city of Waco. You can park in that side parking lot next to the Hilton, and you can park at a parking lot called Heritage Square. Again, I know I'm going to harp on this a lot, but on that website that I made for Grand Annual Communication, I've marked this location on a map. And Heritage Square is just a big parking spot. It's where the actual drugstore used to stand, where Dr. Pepper was invented. It's now a parking lot, but that's
I
why they
know
call
where
it
you're talking
Heritage
about.
Square. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can pick up a bus there, and uh they have the capability to pick up people in wheelchairs. If you have any kind of mobility issues, they have the ability to pick up people and then drop them off right in front of the Grand Lodge. They could drop you off at the front door of the Grand Lodge. And so I know that it's better, it's nicer to have a handicap spot in the parking lot behind the building. But if you miss out on that and you don't get one, you can always park at Heritage Square. A bus will pick you up from Heritage Square and drop you off at the front, and they have wheelchair ramps. They have any kind of mobility issues. They can help with anything because that's what they do, right? They do transportation, and we really don't, right? And so I think in years past, we we were renting like 15 passenger vans and trying to shuttle people around and,
I remember that.
and fumbling in and out of a 15 passenger van is just hard to do if you have mobility issues. And these buses are air ride. They can lower themselves down so you don't have to step up into the bus. They have ramps for chairs. Any number of accommodations, they can make them, and it's what they do. They're trained for this, and we're not. And so I think the best thing to do is if you miss out and you don't get a parking spot in the back parking lot of the Grand Lodge of Texas, which I understand can be frustrating and a little scary if you have mobility issues, I encourage you to try to take advantage of one of the bus stops that we have. They will pick you right up. They will take you right to the front door, and that's your best shot. I think that's the best thing that we've tried to do to try to solve that problem because it is a real problem. Parking's a real issue. It always has been at the Grand Lodge. Even way back, I can tell you, back in the day when that building was first built, there were houses back there where that parking lot was. And so even in the early going, when they were, cars were still were just first a thing, it was always been a problem. Parking's always been an issue. But you know what? We make it through it every year. And until some generous benefactor gives us $100 million to build a parking garage, it is what it is. And
Uh,
so
That's
this is
that's a great idea. I mean, y'all are doing great, and I think that having them take care of that almost sounds more appealing than parking back in the back of the Grand Lodge, to be honest with you, because just that bitter walk from from the back of the parking lot to the to Grand Lodge, that's cold, man,
no doubt.
and it can be tough on old bones.
I get it. I get
I
it.
I
I
definitely
get
get it. I feel it.
it. I get it. I feel for him, and I know that last year that brother was real upset with me, and I understand it. I understand why he was upset, but I hope that this is the best. It's the best solution we could come up with, really to help. And I think I think it just seems to work out, and I think I encourage everybody to use it if they can, and I encourage if you have the ability to walk a couple blocks and you can park a couple of blocks away, I just encourage it. Typically what I try to do is just park one place and then I really don't move my car after that. I tend to Uber around if I've got to get around town. And so, try that, try some ride share, try riding with each other, trying to leave your car alone. And hopefully if you're staying at one of our partner hotels, you can just take the bus.
I will
Yeah,
walk many blocks before I move my truck once I got
I
it
I
parked.
mean I'm with you. I will just park it in a spot like three, four
because
blocks away, and I don't worry about it the rest of the
because
weekend.
it's gone. Once you leave a
dude, you got
spot, it's
Southern
gone.
Comforts right across the street. Why do you need to move anyways? You just
Exactly. You
go
just
up in
go
the
to
morning, go have a beer at lunch, and then go back. I mean, what a better
easy
way to
stuff.
vote.
Seriously.
Well, I tell
Yeah.
you what, I for all of our listeners out there, I there it just kills me when I see that young able-bodied man that's walking in that parking lot, just closing his door with his fancy briefcase and his fancy car and all this kind of stuff, and not knocking fancy cars or anything or fancy briefcases. I happen to love them. However, if you feel that privileged because you had LASIK surgery back in 2015, that is not your parking spot.
Yeah, I
That is
really,
not handicapped, sir. Go
you know,
back to the back of the line.
our memberships get is not getting younger, and so we really have to start looking out for our aged brothers, and I think
Absolutely.
it's only fair to make to leave a spot. I'm entitled to a spot as a staff member, and I'm going to forego my spot just because I don't need it. I don't need to be parked behind the building. It's not necessary for me. I can walk. I can walk 3 blocks to my car, and I'll happily do it to make sure that somebody with mobility issues can have my spot. I don't need it.
Yeah, I
So
usually park way back behind the museum. Back,
yeah,
what's that museum back there?
the Taylor Museum. Yeah,
The Taylor Museum. I
yeah,
usually park behind the Taylor
that's a good
Museum.
spot. That's a
You
good
know,
spot.
just yeah, it's
Yep.
always available.
Yep. Yeah. And when everybody lets out, right? You got a quick exit. You got a fast
Yes.
exit. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now we're parked and we are coming into Grand Lodge, bright eyes and bushy tail, walking in ready to get our packet. What can we expect there?
Yep. Registration opens on the 15th at 9 a.m. You'll be able to pick up your packet if you're pre-registered. I strongly urge everybody to go pick up your packet. I mean, go pre-register so that your packet is pre-made. If not, some people I know prefer to just get there and register on the spot. You can do that, and they'll take care of you. You know the credentials committee have it down like a fine science, so you won't wait that long. Honestly, you will have to wait a little bit longer if you unless you pre-register. But you know that those guys down there who do the registration on site, they're slick. They got it, so they'll get you in and out. And you'll be able to be registered for Grand Lodge. It's a great thing.
That's one of the other things that I'm most proud of over the past couple of years is getting the registration put into Grandview to where it is easy. You know, I'm always one of the guys that's chomping at the bits and I'm always asking. In fact, I probably asked you. I think I asked you, when's registration?
Yeah.
Because it because it was a couple days after what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And so and I'm sure I'm not the only one either. But
You were not.
you get so excited getting ready for Grand Lodge, man, and having that
Yeah.
opportunity to go online and do it. Now, one thing I will recommend for all people, make sure to choose the correct lodge that you want to be affiliated with when you're going into Grand Lodge so you don't have to change it later. It could be changed, but man, that's a pain. So just get it right the first time. Use the drop down and make sure that you choose the one you're a past master of so that you have your voting rights. We don't want to
Yeah.
lose those.
It
I think
will
every
it will default to your to what you've picked as your active lodge. So everybody has the ability now, if you don't know, to pick your active lodge. You can change that designation on Grandview. If you've changed it, just beware that whatever you've changed it to, that's what your name tag is going to default to. So just yeah, if you want it changed, Dennis is right. It's that moment right before you click submit. You can change your name or how it's displayed on your name tag. So I know a lot of people will call up to Grand Lodge, right, and ask for some kind of something in Grandview, and they're like, "Well, my friend Bubba needs his changed in his Grandview page too." And I said, "Oh, okay. What's his name? It's Bubba Smith." And I'll put in Bubba. There's no Bubba Smith. Oh yeah, that Bubba's not his real name. So if you go by Bubba, it's your chance to put in Bubba, but it's going to default to your actual name, whatever you have in Grandview. So that's your chance to like change it at that point.
Nice. Were you going to say something, Justin, before I jump in on that again?
just a witty, snarky thing. It wasn't really relevant to anything. Go ahead.
That's our favorite things.
I know, man. You got to add those in quick. But I tell you what, and I remember, I remember the first time I ever went to Grand Lodge. In fact, I didn't have cash. I was, I didn't grow up with cash really. Well, I did halfway through my life, and then the rest of my life it's been credit card, right? So I
Yeah,
get to Grand Lodge. I have no cash. I have no way of getting registered, and I there was no pre-registering at that time. It was
right.
a cluster, you know what. But now I tell you what, it is so easy. In fact, I was admiring the fact that I walked through the front door and I even shook a couple of hands and hugged a few necks on my way to registration. And I was out and on the other side within 3 minutes.
Yep,
Tops. I mean,
yep,
3 minutes. They just look for your name and you're there. They hand it over. You're done.
yep.
There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So
Yeah, those are the volunteers at Crawford Lodge, and they do an excellent job of getting all that done. And I will say I would be remiss also if I didn't mention M. Denton Stanford being the lodge that also packs the packets. So between those two lodges, we can thank those hardworking brothers who volunteer their time to pack those
yes, thank
packets
you.
every year, and they do a bang up job.
Thank you so much to those guys. I mean, we really need to think about them in our prayers every night
Yeah, yeah, they
leading up
do.
to Grand Lodge
They
because
do an
that's
excellent
that's
job.
heaven sent right there, babe.
I'm telling you.
That's
I'm telling you.
Um, another thing I was going to mention. Oh golly, and there it went. That's my age.
Yeah. Well, if I
Yeah,
can throw in another pitch for this website,
please
I
do.
have listed the Grand Lodge official events on that website that'll give you every single day what time the afternoon session starts on the first day, what time the morning session starts the next day, what time the afternoon session starts. Uh, put on the uh, Grandmaster's wife is having a paint party during Grand Lodge for the ladies if they want to
And
go
that's a
to
fun time.
yeah, painting with a
Sarah loves doing
twist.
that.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see. The Grandmaster's banquet's on here. The final session, installation of the next year's officers, and then of course our gala that we're having on Saturday night. So I put all that on there. It's in order. It's missing a few. Some people pointed out it's missing some information. I'll go in there and I'll fix it. So just keep coming back. There's going to be if there's a registration link that you need, it's in here. If there's tickets that are required, I've tried to put the information here. Um, if you just if there's a click or a place in here, it'll have it. It'll have the if you need a password that goes with the registration link, it's in there. So I've tried to put all the information that you'll need to find in this one place, so you can just go here and look for everything Grand Annual Communication to pull up. So
Is
uh,
that through Grandview or is it its own separate website?
it's its own separate website.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
built
Well,
a
that's
little standalone so that I remember last year before 25's Grand Annual Communication, we just were inundated with questions, right? And so I tried to write down all the questions that we were getting, and I tried to put them in this website. Where do I park? Where do I stay? What's happening on this night? When does it start? When can I register? All this. I got it right down to when you can expect to be in the building. At the bottom of the website, schedule of when you can expect the building to be open every single day. So it's down to when do the doors open? It's on there. I've got
nice.
every single thing on here, and for the first time in ever, we're able to advertise the fun stuff that I know we want to talk about. I know we want to leave
Yes.
some time for that. So, um, but the pitch to the website is this is our like clearinghouse of information. So if you can't find it here, then happily call us in and call us at the Grand Lodge and we'll answer any question you got. But chances are you'll be able to find the information on this
Well,
website.
we'll have a link to it at the underneath this video.
Oh, thank you.
So you guys you make sure and just look underneath this video and there will be a link to it first thing so that you'll have that direct access on your way to Grand Lodge so that you can hear this video and then click on the link and just plan out your whole trip in the 2 hour drive that you're going to take to get to Grand Lodge. In
Hey,
my case, three
Unless you're in El Paso, then it's 2.5 hours.
which
That's why Grand Lodge
by
is in
plane.
Waco. That's why Grand Lodge is in Waco. We are 3 hours from 80% of the population of Texas.
Yes, yes, especially that 35 corridor. Well, unless you're in Austin or Dallas, and then you got a little bit extra drive, trying to get through
Traffic.
the towns. Yes, that's a fact.
Hey, can you
That's
tell
one thing I
me
love is the country road.
what page of the communication is that link on?
It is on the Grand Secretary's monthly communication in October.
Oh, in October. Okay, no
Hmm.
wonder. I was looking into. All
Great
right.
listening skills. Good
What?
thing you're a teacher and not a student.
What? And where at on there?
I think it's on the second page. If you scroll, it's maybe the second or third page down.
I think I said it. 2026 Grand Annual Communication Information.
That's it, and it should be a hyperlink.
Yep.
Yep, and that'll
Cool.
take you to that page.
All right. I'll put that on the description.
Thank
Nice.
you. I appreciate that, guys.
For
Because
sure.
that will have the Texas Grand Annual Communication after hours social events are all listed on there. So it
Nice.
gives you a list of everything that's happening after hours. Either associated these are just things that lodges themselves put on. Lodges or certain brothers put on themselves, and we've just advertised it. So Uh,
Nice big fonts, by the way.
thank you, thank you.
I wonder why.
Our biggest question is when is grand communication? So I put that as big as I possibly could on the top of the web
You
page.
like literally scroll through the title. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
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 I'm
yeah,
in the
yeah.
I'm in the right place.
It's there. It's there.
Awesome.
Yeah. So if you go down say three quarters on that page, one of the Right Worshipful Billings did some really cool things this year. He made inroads with the city of Waco for three things. Uh, our buses are now sponsored by that bus transportation is sponsored by Waco Transit.
Oh man,
Our
that's huge.
Yeah, huge.
Wow.
He worked with the local hotel association in Waco, who gave us the money for the gala that we're going to have on Saturday night. And they said,
Wow.
we want to treat everybody right who stayed at one of our hotels. And so you have this money and throw them a party. So we're encouraging everybody. I know you go home on Saturday. We're asking you to stay Saturday night and have that gala. And then the other thing that we were able to do is we got sponsored by the city of Waco to have a welcome to Waco party on Wednesday night. We're shutting down the street in front of Grand Lodge. So they're going to come out and they're going to close traffic off. And we get the whole use of that street. And we're going to throw a street festival that's just going to be awesome. So,
That is awesome because I
yeah.
always get there on Wednesday.
Yep.
Always. You
So
know, it's
Wednesday
it's
night, you
Wednesday through Sunday for me. And
right there Wednesday night, we're going to be on the street. We're going to have we're going to have food out there. We're going to have some vendors. We're going to have I think we're going to have some live music out there. It's going to be a
very
blast. We're going
cool.
to have a good time out there and we got that courtesy of the city of Waco just from the
Wow.
Grand Secretary going, "Hey, can we do this?" And he asked me, he was like, "Do you think they'll do this?" And I said, "There's no way they're going to let you do that." And they did it. So he proved me wrong. So uh,
He is
so
a
I,
salesman.
he is a
It's
salesman.
good we have a salesman as a grand
I'm
secretary,
telling you,
man.
he makes things happen. So
We
we got
need
that
somebody
street
fighting our
festival.
cause.
We got that street festival first up there on the website. The next thing, I put them in chronological order. On the next night, we have the Newberry Hospitality Suite. I spoke about it earlier. Brother Newberry gets a hospitality suite inside the Hilton in Brazos Rooms A and B. And he just invites everybody to come over from 5 to 8. From then, we go on a little pub crawl across Waco. If you've been on it before, you know it's a good time. We cruise
And
around.
we generally toast you guys as y'all pass us up because we have our inner circle dinner starting at 6.
That's
So
right.
we tell all of our guys to go to the hospitality suite at 5 and then get to our room at 6 over at Diamondbacks. Now, and Dave, is Diamondbacks the place to eat in Waco?
It pretty much is. There's some Waco's growing now, and Waco's got some restaurants that we didn't used to have. Diamondbacks used to pretty much be it, and so Diamondbacks is the OG fancy restaurant in Waco, and it's the place where you're gonna get a steak, you're gonna get some good food, but it's the one downtown, right? But we've gotten some good places. We got Pivovar now, which is really nice. It's a Czech brewery that's also a real good restaurant across town. And so we've got some other places, but you want that OG thick steak that's just well cooked? It's hard to beat Diamondbacks.
And the Resolution 9 bar that they set up for us in the hall during our dining experience.
Too good. Too
Yes,
good. You
yes.
guys are living the high life over
But
there.
but but the thing is that we fully support the pub crawl. If you're not coming to our inner circle dinner, then you need to go on the pub crawl. Are y'all going to do a turtles initiation this year again?
There's going to be turtle initiations. There's going to be bagpipes a playing. There's going to be
And that's the thing. When we hear the bagpipes coming as you're going to crickets, that's when we know, okay, it's time to get ready for a toast to these guys as they're going by. Y'all don't even know that we're doing it, but we're in the hall toasting you guys as you go by.
Amazing. Amazing. Next up on the list, we've got the Waco 92 11th annual Masonic concert. Those guys have been doing it for 11 years, which is an amazing feat. So Phoenix Theory again, our Prince Hall brother Eric is going to be singing his heart out, and we love Eric, and so 92 is just they're just holding down that cornerstone of the first activity that was done after hours
That
by
was
any
the first,
lodge.
yes, that was
Yeah,
the first big deal in Waco that everybody went to Waco for,
yeah,
besides
yeah,
Grand Lodge.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. It's always been a cool event. I just it's close to my heart because it's my lodge. So I look forward to seeing everybody there, and I think yeah, hopefully we'll just have that annual turnout like we always do. There's
yes,
some
I
other
always show up, so you guys need to show up too.
yeah, absolutely. And at the same time, that's happening is the Lion's Paw Annual Cigar Social.
Oh,
So that's a new event for guys who may not be into music, right? They may not be into the whole backyard music scene. They want a nice cigar and some quiet contemplation with other brethren around maybe a nice stiff drink or um, a soda if you choose.
I
So
get it, man.
that's happening at Barnett's Whiskey House, which is a stop along the pub crawl the night before. So you'll get a little preview of it the night before if you're planning on going to the Lion's Paw. But we have that advertised as well, and that's happening from 7 to 9. The concert is listed. It starts at 7 and goes on further. So if you go to the Lion's Paw, if you go to the Lion's Paw and you want to do them both, I would start at the Lion's Paw, have a cigar with those guys, and then head over to the concert. It always seems to go pretty late, so you'll be able to catch the tail end of that concert, and you'll miss the guys who probably bounce out a little early. But you'll be able to cram both events in if you're trying to,
But
if
there's
you're stuck.
always 100 people there, even after the old guys bounce out. I mean, there's still 100 people or more there at the backyard bar and grill
No
because
doubt.
there's
Those fire pits. Yeah.
fireplaces, fire
Yep.
pits all over, and then there's the above the heating from above. They have those gas heaters, and I mean it's a nice event. It really
Yeah,
is.
it really is. It really is. It's my favorite. And then the last event I have on the website is the our gala, our first annual Grand Communication Gala. It's going to be at Hotel 1928, which used to be the Shrine. You're going to be able to see the old cigar porch that they had when it was a shrine. The Grand Ballroom is still largely unchanged from when it was the Shrine building. You'll be able to walk into the lobby and look up in the ceiling if you've been to the Scottish Rite building in Galveston and you've been to the Egyptian room, it'll look very similar. If you'll see it, it'll look
Oh,
pretty close to that. And then just around the Ho Hotel, we've been able to negotiate with them. We rented out the Ho Hotel, so we have from the bottom floor. There's a restaurant in the and a bar in the basement or in the ground floor. It's called the Brasserie. We've rented that out. We've got the ballroom, which is on the next floor. And then on the very top is a rooftop bar called Birdie's, which
wow.
you can look down on the Grand Lodge and see the stained glass all lit up at nighttime,
Yes.
looking down on the Grand Lodge. The session will be over. We'll be able to let our hair down. What's done is done at that point. And
You mean you can see the roof of the Grand Lodge from that building?
you can't see the
That was a
roof.
bad joke.
You can't see the roof from that one, but you get a real good perspective, and you can imagine that you can see the roof and what goes on there. So I've never been on the roof, but that's
That's awesome. That sounds like a great time. In fact, I'm a little bit, concerned because we had a brother from our inner circle that offered up his home to have some drinks and cigars on Saturday night. And golly, I may have to talk to him and see if he wants to go over to the 1928 instead, because
yeah,
that's
it's going to be a great time. They're actually put together they've got a little outdoor spot just for cigar smokers. So they've got a section off for us for to have cigars. I think they're going to be one of the vendors for the Welcome to Waco party. They're
Oh,
going to
very
have some
cool.
hors d'oeuvres out there, I believe, is what we discussed. It's just a great spot. It's going to be a great spot for you to take your lady as well. That rooftop bar is about as a romantic spot as it gets if it's not raining that day. And it is, you get all the views of Waco down to McLean Stadium, over the river. Everything's lit up. Everything looks great.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful spot. And they've
Waco is
got little,
beautiful at night. It really is. Once you start looking at all the sights across town from high above, it really is beautiful.
yeah, it's a great vantage point from the rooftop bar. And I think everybody will really enjoy it. And I think I had Right Worshipful Billings really kind of push and lead on this gala, and I haven't been as intimately involved, but I think he mentioned something. He's going to have picture opportunities around the building where people will be able to get some pictures taken with a nice backdrop, and it's going to be a great event. Heavy hors d'oeuvres. Meals will be provided, and if you stay in a hotel, I think you get a drink ticket. So your first cocktail is on us, and after that, then they're going to have little cocktail bars all throughout the hotel. So
Nice.
it's not just one spot. You can go around the hotel, and if you've opened up your tab at one place, it works all over. So you'll be able to just go crazy in that hotel and just have a good time.
Man, don't threaten me with a good
I
time.
know.
Golly.
I know that
Once,
sounds good to me.
yes,
Golly.
what should annual communication be but like an abundance of fun? We should get business done, but this one, the business is all done at this point, right? And we can really let down our hair and have a good time together. And so I think it's going to be great. Installation at that point will be over with, and we'll be able to excuse me, we'll be able to shake hands with those who just got installed, and then shake hands with those who worked for us this year and did such a good job. So
Yes,
I think it's
yes.
going to be a good time for us all to, just continue on this peace and harmony and keeping brotherly love going, and it's going to be a good event, I think. I
Man, you got
highly
me
Sounds
encourage
good.
excited.
everybody.
I
Yeah,
I was already excited, but I'm just even more excited now. I can't wait.
yeah,
It
it's gonna be
really
fun.
is the highlight of my year. I mean, it's better than my birthday. I because because you get to number one, you get to take part in some of the well, some people don't like it so much, but I love it. I love the beginning where they walk in grand procession and do the formal entrance into Grand Lodge. That's
I do too.
important. That's important to me. It
Yeah,
really is. It's just like the ritual in our lodges. It's important to me.
it
And
is.
then and then moving on, you get to see democracy in its finest. I mean, it is truly the best the best example of how democracy should work.
Yeah,
Even if things go haywire in everybody's minds, it's still democracy in its finest, and it always trues up to what the Grand West wants.
yep,
And that is the epitome of what democracy should be. And then cutting loose with your brothers and having some fun and having that social bonding together. You know, we shortchange ourselves in lodge a lot of times. We have some cheapo dinner or whatever before lodge, and or even it's so bad that the joke is what kind of green beans of the month, right?
yeah,
But when we come to something like this, we get to really have an opportunity to eat and drink well and socialize well, and everybody's at a heightened experience. And not just that, but these are all people who are not only financially, but they're mentally invested in where they are in that moment. They're there for a purpose. And it's not just about business, but
right.
it's about the experience with their brothers and like-minded brothers. And I think that the synergy that's created with events like this, and especially Grand Annual Communication, man, there is just nothing like it.
Yeah, I agree. It pumps me up every year when I go, and I always leave Grand Annual Communication with a renewed sense of excitement about Masonry. And I agree with you. I love being surrounded by Masons, but the particular people who come to Grand Annual Communication are those who are passionate about the fraternity, and I just love that. I love being around people who are passionate about the fraternity and want to see it do good and want to see it. Uh, you know, advance and continue on for many years. And we might not always agree on how that works out, but that's the democracy part. We get to decide by a vote. And I tell everybody who visits the Grand Lodge, welcome to your Grand Lodge, because it is your Grand Lodge. It's
Yeah.
mine, it's yours, it's everybody's, it's all of ours. And sometimes new Masons will visit and they're like, "Am I allowed to come in?" I'm like, "Absolutely, get in here. It's your Grand Lodge. Come here,
Yes.
sit where the Grand Master sits. Isn't that cool? Sit there." So I like to take people in there, and I like when people come and visit their Grand Lodge. It's our building. It's our fraternity, our beloved fraternity. If you love Masonry, you should love Grand Lodge too, and you should love being at Grand Lodge, participating in Grand Lodge, and I know that Grand Lodge is used sometimes as this booger bear that is this overseer of the fraternity. And yes, it's true. We do have to keep things in line. We do have to make sure that we follow a certain set of rules to make sure that we maintain our recognition within other jurisdictions. But
and
no,
and on the state level, we have to maintain our 501(c)(10s and C3s, and
all
make
of
sh
that, all of that.
yes.
But at the end of the day, we should all be having fun. This should be a good time for us. It should not be stressful. It should not be something that you don't look forward to or something that you dread. It's a good time. And if you're not having a good time, you're probably masoning wrong. You're
Yeah.
you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. And if you're not having a good time at Grand Annual Communication with all we have going on, if you can't find somewhere to have a good time, then I don't know what to do. I can't help you. I can't
I
help you.
Justin, that's got to be the tagline for this one. You're probably masoning wrong. If you can't have a good time at Grand Annual Communication, you're probably masoning wrong. I like that
I
That's
I
true.
think I said it a long time ago. Do you even Mason, bro? Like,
one. That's
That needs
awesome.
to be on a shirt.
Yes, we need to make a shirt with that for sure. We've
big seller.
touched on a lot of cool things about Grand Annual Communication, but you just pointed out something that's extremely important to me, and I know it's important to you, or you wouldn't have made yourself available for it this year. The library and museum is the heart of Grand Lodge. Really, it's housing all of our most important artifacts and our history and our legacy. I mean, this building in itself houses our legacy.
Well,
Um,
why don't you clarify like what exactly does it encompass? Like
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Can you give us the Grand Lodge for Dummies Library and Museum?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I I just preface before you answer because like as a new Mason, I remember seeing going to Grand Lodge and seeing the library in the museum, and I thought that was it. That's all it encompassed was just the library part and the museum part. But it's much more than that, right?
Absolutely, yeah. The library and museum board manages the building that we so love. We have a building director, Christian Moore, who works with his staff. Excuse me. Sam Moody, who is our curator in the museum, does a bang up job. And you'll get to see at Grand Annual Communication the work that Sam has done by changing those static displays in the lobby. He's changed all of them. So they're going to be brand new displays in the lobby.
Oh,
And he did such a good job. They partnered
Nice.
with Baylor University and they had some of the museum study students come in and and their job was to do these cases, and you know they're teenagers, and so they did a teenage
That's
job. But then Sam went in there and actually straightened them all out, and I'm telling you, he did a great job. So that staff not only takes care of the museum, but they also take care of the greater building and maintenance, upkeep of the building. They also are responsible for the park, our Masonic Oak Park, down in Brazoria, Texas. So they are also um, uh, responsible for maintaining and keeping up that park as well. So uh, it's a flex to have that building. And I don't know that maybe some people get complacent or used to having that building, or there's some weird idea that this building is crumbling and needs to be torn down or something. It is the strongest, most massive and well-built building that I have ever seen. In any building that I've ever worked in. It is a work of art and a mastery in design and architecture. The thing is just so well built that it'll be around for another 75 years. I mean that
If
the core
at
bones
least.
of that building is just beautiful and
if that
strong.
Yeah.
building if that building was any thicker, it'd be a megalith. Like
I'm
those things don't
telling you,
go anywhere.
I'm
Those
telling
walls are huge.
It's just, and you can go down. I mean, you know, I can take you through some of the back room tours on an off day. Now, don't ask me during grand communication because I'll be very busy. But come on a random Tuesday in February, and we can go down in the catacombs of that building, and you can see the structure itself is just sound, and so it's a beautiful building, and it you know does it need some updates? Absolutely, it does. But there's no reason why that building can't stand and be and serve us as Masons for another 75 years. It's a beautiful building, and we're massively lucky to have it. We couldn't afford to replicate that building right now as a fraternity. We couldn't build another one. We just couldn't. Another important aspect of the library and museum is they are a 501(c)(3). As you know, all of the lodges are a 501(c)(10), and we are 50. Did I get that wrong? I don't know.
No, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
So, but the Grand Lodge Library and Museum is a functioning 501(c)(3). That's extremely important for the development of our beloved Grand Lodge. Because if we ever want to build a parking garage, it would be done through the land acquisition through a 501(c)(3. Because as my good friend who's on the board, Corey Harris, knows and pointed out, one of the greatest aspects of running a 501(c)(3 is the ability to acquire and possess real estate. And one of the things we should be focused on is picking off land around us and probably trying to identify a spot we can put a parking garage up and be able to solve this parking problem that we have already. By putting in a parking garage, which would also generate revenue
Yeah.
during its downtime because of how many people just visit Waco to see the silos and the other attractions at Baylor University and some of the other things that are around Waco that we'd be able to take advantage of. So,
Yeah, I was gonna
For
um,
say
sure.
a smart location would be really beneficial, even beyond Grand Lodge.
absolutely,
Well,
absolutely.
as members of the Grand West, we should definitely be pushing to for that forward thinking and taking, supporting our legacy while thinking forward to the future, um, to protect that legacy. Um, I don't know. I I think that it's much like the San Antonio Cathedral at the Scottish Rite. I mean, there's just not a building that's built as well as that in San Antonio. It's a magnificent structure. Have we had our issues over the years? Sure, we have. I mean, there's been plenty of issues, but in all reality, if we had the same kind of support at that cathedral that the Grand Lodge building has, oh my gosh, that would just be it would be so easy to earmark a couple of bucks every year from each member to focus our energies on different projects in within the building and have it completely up to date within no time. I mean, it just behooves me that anyone would think that it's anything but magnificent and spectacular and deserves our full attention.
Yeah. I just I think about the people who went before us, right? The brethren who went before us from long ago. They built for the future, right? They built lasting things. You can go anciently to the architects of King Solomon's temple. That portion of that building still exists, right? And because they built it for centuries. Uh, this building is built for centuries. We, as masons, as builders ourselves, need to also think about building that building and what kind of building we want to leave for the guys who are going to be here in 75 years. And if we're serious about it, we need to start concentrating on making that building just as cool as it is for us right now. The brethren who put that building there 75 years ago thought about us and thought about us having Grand Lodge in 75 years. And here we are. And I want to think about the brethren who are going to be in that building in 75 years and what kind of building they're going to have to meet in. And I don't want them to have to worry about the roof falling around their ears. And I don't want them to have to worry about electrical problems or plumbing problems. I want that building to be in 75 years. I want it to be still standing there. And I want it to be still the pride of Texas Freemasonry. And I think it can be easily if we all collectively put our minds together and do it.
I'm old
Absolutely.
enough to remember when there was no air conditioning in that building and all the ballots had to be counted by hand.
That's his that's
And
his claim to
as
fame.
much of an old timer as it
Mr.
makes me
Millennial
sound,
here.
it was not
I'm
that
old
long
enough to
ago.
remember.
That's right. That's right. We have come a long way. And
He
that
was in
is
diapers when that happened, but he's old enough to remember.
that's a testament though to what the board can do. The board started that initiative for the air conditioning. They
Yes.
recognized we can't rent that building out if it's not air conditioned, right? It's unusable for 90% of the year. And the only time you can use it is in January when we don't need air conditioning, right? But you can tell it last January, we turned on the AC. We had to turn on the AC.
We had to.
We had
Yes.
to. Thank God that that board had the mind to do it, and the Masons of Texas voted to do it. And that's what we need. We need guys on that board who have a mind to look forward to the future and say, "This is our building. This is going to be our building for the next 75 years, also, and hopefully long into the future. What can we do to preserve it to make sure that guys who for 75 years from now can come here and still be proud of this building?" And I think we can do it. I think
I
we
Absolutely.
think
can. And I think not only can we do it, I think we absolutely should do it. I think it's one of those things. I got to spend some time with other grand jurisdictions at the Grandview conference, and to a man, every single one of them were like, "We're jealous of your building. We're jealous of your grand communication building. We're jealous of your Grand Lodge that you get to go there and work every single day in that beautiful building." And I know they're jealous. I know they are because it's not like that at every other grand jurisdiction. Now, there are some grand jurisdictions who do have impressive buildings, but we're one of the most impressive buildings in any grand jurisdiction in the United States. And what a chest thump that is. You know, people were just coming just to visit. Working there Monday through Friday is such a pleasure. We'll get people who we had a guy drop by from the Grand Lodge of Japan
Mm.
who happened to be in town and just wanted to see our building. You know, he had heard about it in Japan. And so, like we're the talk of the Grand Lodge of Japan. You know, that's really cool, you know?
well, he probably heard it on our show. That's
At,
not just
I'm guessing that's exactly where he heard it.
But you're absolutely right. It is, and it's magnificent, and we ought to be more proud of it and take good care of it. That's and the cool thing is that we have that opportunity as everyday Masons. We have that opportunity. We are already, as the Grand West, we are already paying for that building.
Yep.
We're already doing it. We should make sure that our board understands what's needed or what our beliefs are and what we think that it needs and take care of it. Let's not push the can down the road like we have with some of our old lodges that our forefathers built, and now we're trying to make hard decisions on if we're going to have to sell or not. We're
Right.
not at that point with our Grand Lodge. In fact, we're not even tapping into a revenue source of renting that sucker out to people if we wanted to. I mean, we could be completely, completely off the chains in revenue for our Grand Lodge and for our our library and museum. We could pay for all of our updates if we
Yeah.
would just have some forward thinking, and we just ask people to put their minds to how they're going to spend our money.
Yeah, and most definitely. I
And I
think,
know that I know you want to. I know that most of the board wants to, and
yeah.
we just uh we just need to make sure that that continues to happen.
Yeah, I know that right now Christian Moore tries real hard to rent out the building. And he does. He did get Waco Independent Film Festival to happen inside the building, which was really great. But I think the building's limited. I think the building's limited in its ability to make revenue, and I think with some small, easy changes, the building could be retrofitted into a venue, top and bottom. So the York Rite Auditorium and the main auditorium. Some very simple changes that will cost money, but will open up a greater revenue source for us. And then you're right. Then we're able to host bigger productions within
Venues, yes.
inside the upstairs auditorium. I take people in there from the city of Waco in the chamber, and they're just awestruck. They like had no idea you had this large auditorium. And we're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I take them downstairs, and they're like, another auditorium? Like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, what do y'all have here? It's like, yeah, a couple times a year we fill this place up. And they're like, yeah, Lee, this is a great space. And I'm like, yeah, but you start talking about, uh, some of the upgrades that need to happen, like we put in that beautiful jumbotron behind the east.
Yes.
We need to make sure that you can plug into it and use an HDMI cord to hook up to it down there at the lectern. And right now that's just not done. And it's not an oversight by anybody. It's just set up for the way we use it. It's not set up for a conference of people, non-Masons, to come in and plug into it and run a PowerPoint from the lectern. And when we use it, we have a crew of people who come in and retrofit, or they come in and they put in the infrastructure for that, and then it goes away when Grand Communication is not there. We probably need to solve that, and we would probably have more people who would rent that space out if it had that small, simple things, right? To put in so that we could use that uh, as in a broader sense. So I recognize that when we had this most recent deputy training for the 26 deputies. Um, they wanted to plug in a laptop down at the lectern and have the PowerPoint, and it's like, we don't have that ability. I'm sorry, it wasn't deputy training, it was secretary school. So I had to stay in the booth, and somebody had to like give me a single signal when they wanted to change to the next slide. We need to
Well,
fix that, right?
what you
So
described is just all these upgrades that would make the building more appealing to venues would ultimately be beneficial to us during Grand Lodge. Not
absolutely,
all of them, but probably 80 or 90%. I
Well,
mean,
or any of
absolutely.
our other communications too. I mean,
yeah,
you've got other
yeah,
ones that
chapter
are,
council, all the other stuff that
yeah,
goes on there.
And not only
Uh,
that, but I mean, it would make the building safer. So if we had a way to restrict traffic around the greater part of the building, so if you had an after hours event, one of the concerns that we have is you can go down a back hallway and kind of disappear in that building. And so if we block that off, it becomes safer even during the day where we have restricted areas where people can't get past. So when we have daily visitors in there, as we do, we have people that show up to the Grand Lodge building every single day who want inside. And we have to vet them at the door and decide if they're worthy to come in and what their purpose is and what they want to do. But what we're all our constant worry is that someone's going to get inside that shouldn't be, and so far we've been pretty good about it, but there is going to come a day where someone's going to get inside that building that shouldn't be there, and it'd be great to be able to restrict their traffic flow to where we can monitor where they're at and what they're doing inside the building. So some of the upgrades I'm talking about would also handle that aspect of it. It would restrict their flow of traffic, but still be safe in case of a fire and that kind of thing. So it's just some of those things that we need to look at. We need to look at, and then once we solve that, we can have these big, massive events where people are coming in and out of the building, and we don't have to worry about entrance and egress and where they are in the building. And one of the things is the building's never been built with ladies' restrooms. It was never built from the beginning with ladies' restrooms. And it was
Oh,
interesting when I went to work in the Grand Secretary's office, they were saying that the building, the ladies who worked there up until probably in the 90s were forced to go across the street to the bus station, the Greyhound bus
oh
station,
my
and use the
goodness.
restroom there, and couldn't even use the restroom inside the building. There wasn't facilities. Ultimately, they retrofitted some of the existing restrooms for the ladies, but I found that to be I found that to be something else, and it is something that's kind of hard for us to address right now. Is the main auditorium? There's not a large restroom facility for ladies. You would have to mark one of the men's restrooms there's two men's restrooms on the back of the auditorium. You'd have to mark one of those as ladies' restrooms, but then also have it available as a men's only restroom for grand communications. So it would be a little trickery, but it's something that we would have to think about as an organization that, for a period of time, it could be a ladies' restroom, and then for a period of time, it'd be a men's restroom, which is easily solved with like a removable wall, like door plaque, right? So
Yep.
just slide it out for women, slide it in for men, and
Just
maybe
put
it's just
number two only and
yeah, one restroom would just be all stalls, right? It'd just be all stall.
yes. Number one and number two. There you go. Problem
You can
solved.
take care of any business you got in
Man, I'm
there.
I'm gonna I'm gonna make myself available for the board
Yeah.
next year.
There you go.
Dennis
Let's do it.
Just kidding. Just
Dennis
Let's
is an
do
innovator over here.
it.
You're right. My big contribution. That and red solo cups.
Yeah, so
Well,
those are just things that I think about when I work there Monday through Friday, and I dream about, and probably some of the things I would try to be a contributor, if the brethren of the Grand West find me worthy of
well, and
putting me on
that's
the
and
board.
that's what I was thinking is that, you're the only one that's close in proximity to Grand Lodge and we don't need to harp on all that, but you're there every day.
I am.
And who best can really just look and see what's going on. I mean, you're right there with Christian Moore and you're able to y'all are able to sit there and contemplate these things together and take them to the board and say, man, these are really key functions that we need to have happen in this library and museum to protect the future.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll just give this as an analogy, and it's not as it's a little off the wall, but I think it's relevant. In education, you have people that make decisions about what happened in the classroom that are not in the classroom, or some of these people are making decisions they've never even been in the classroom, right? Uh, Similarly, you want people that are making decisions about the Grand Lodge building itself that actually have their finger on the pulse of that building, what's going on, what are the ins and outs. So I really like the idea of someone that's in there every day, actually having say, or having input on the direction it goes because they are there, they know.
And who's going to be able to be there to explain what the board is looking for with that contractor? Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
what are the real needs that the board is looking for as if for a quote from this contractor? Who's going to be able to explain that better than somebody that's there?
Yep.
Yeah.
as opposed to calling them on the phone and trying to find bids, long distance. It's just it's just crazy to me. With our lodges, we don't have anybody in any of the lodges I belong to. We don't have anybody that lives outside of town that are part of the building committee. And I'm not on the building committee on a couple of the lodges because I can't be there when I need to be there. It
Right.
Yeah.
it needs to be somebody that's on hand to be able to handle things, no matter what time, day or night it is, because you never know
Yeah.
what's going to happen. But you know, who am I to say?
Yeah. That's good points.
But now we've kind of talked about everything Grand Lodge. I love this episode. It really is one of my favorite. I get probably the most pumped up about Grand Lodge when I talk to you, Dave.
I
I I,
appreciate that.
I absolutely love you. I think that you do such a great job up there, and then you and Brad and of course all the staff up there, working so hard to make everything happen, and then you guys focusing on Grand Lodge the way y'all have as far as Grand Annual communication. I mean, it has just changed exponentially since y'all have been, doing things. And
Oh man, the improvements in the last short amount of time that y'all been up there
man,
have been
hats off,
massive. Yeah.
hats off
Hey,
to you.
thank you.
I just can't say enough how good of a job that y'all are doing, and how proud I am of our Grand Lodge and all the people within it. I mean, I I, I dealt with Jimmy today myself with bylaws. I mean, every day I get to, if I have a problem that needs to be solved, it gets solved.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more proud.
I
Couldn't be
can't
more.
I can't say enough good things about the staff at the Grand Lodge. And I know people get frustrated with us, but we try our hardest to take care of everybody who calls in. And sometimes I'm telling you, the list this week, the last 3 days of this week. The Masons of Texas have been using the phones. I'm telling you, they've been calling. They've been calling, and I know it gets frustrating sometimes when you ring through and you don't get somebody. But I promise you, we're not sitting around. We're not sitting around having a game of Parcheesi. We're working, and if you don't get an answer, it's most likely because every single person that can answer the phone is on the phone. And if you don't get a call back in a timely manner, it's not out of a lack of caring. It's really because we sometimes we get inundated. We get a little busy, and we try our hardest to take care of everybody. We really do care. We really I say it all the time when secretaries call in. They're like, "Well, how am I supposed to do it?" And I'll say, "Well, there we only thing I have to do is abide by Masonic law." And if Masonic law is silent on it, then Brother Secretary, you tell me what you want to do, and we're going to get it done as long as we're not breaking Masonic law. And so we're trying to dispel that rumor that we're the overseer and that we're going to tattle on you or make your lodge, get in trouble with your DDGM. That is not our intent. Our intent is to figure out what you need done and get it done in the most efficient way possible. And so Cindy at the Grand Lodge is amazing. She takes care of the annual returns and your endowments. Those are her two largest functions, and she also helps with the esoteric certificates that are printed at the beginning of every year, that are communicated by the Committee on Work. We did bring in Jimmy Shannon that you mentioned. He is just kind of a utility player. He's one of those guys you wind him up and point him in a direction, and you show him what needs to be done, he gets it done. We got a whole host of volunteers that come up there and do all kinds of stuff from Bobby Bain at Crawford 585, Kim Coward at Waco 92. Of course, we got Jeff Frazier who takes care of the fraternal side and the outside of the Texas jurisdictions. He does an amazing job. We
Yes, he
got the
does.
we got the brilliant Zach Haston who
Ah,
does just a bunch of stuff for us, and he's also one of those utility guys that we use to do a bunch of stuff with. Of course, Brother Hancock and the merchandise. He takes care of all those sales and He prints the dues cards. If you lose one, or you misplace your dues card, or you just want another copy, you can buy one. He prints them out, mails them out. He also does service awards and mails those out. He just does a bang up job. So everybody that's up there is just contributing as hard as they can and doing just an excellent job. A couple of other people that help us out from time to time, Wes Tribble, Robert Park is instrumental a lot of times in we just this week, right? We had an oil and gas question, a land lease question that we had to ask Brother Park, and he was just Johnny on the spot, told us exactly what to do. So all of those guys. I mean, it's just Craig Enderly on the internet committee, making sure that all of our tech is running perfectly, and making sure that we're staying in communication with the tech committee. And so, I mean, it's just a bang up job from a whole bunch of people, and it's a machine that runs on the backs of a lot of brothers who care a lot about the fraternity. And I know sometimes our office can get frustrating to deal with. And I like to tell people we're doing the job of about 10 people, right? We're doing the job of about 10 people on the hard work of about 6 people in that office, and we try
Yes.
real hard. We just appreciate everybody. We really do care about the fraternity, and we really do want everybody to enjoy their masonry, have a good time, make sure that everything in Grandview's happening correct as we can, because we can't control it. It's not a thing we can control, but helping as much as we can, and trying to help as many people as we can, and we really do care. And so, one of the laser focus has been Right Worshipful Billings, making sure that everybody has the best grand annual communication as members, as Grand Lodge officers. We want the Grand Master to have the best grand annual communication that we've ever had. And we
Yes.
want that every year. We wanted that last year, and I think we did good. I think we're going to do better this year because we learned a lot last year. And I just think Right Worshipful Reader is going to have an awesome session, and he seems prepared from the information that he's sending us. He looks super prepared. And, you already know Jim Rumsey is very prepared, and so he's ready to take the helm should tradition prevail. So. Uh, it just looks like everything's heading in a positive direction.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the way it should be. I've talked to many people becoming, over the years that have become DDGMs, and I've told every one of them, I say, you have a job to do. You have a responsibility to your grandmaster. You do that job for your grandmaster. But man, you need to enjoy every moment that you have as DDGM. Same thing as Worshipful Master. Enjoy every moment that you have as Worshipful Master. Make it to where you don't feel the need to become Worshipful Master ever again or DDGM ever again.
That's
Make
right.
sure that you live it to the fullest. And my hat's off to you guys. Y'all are doing that with I've noticed that in the Grand Annual Communications as well as within Grand Lodge in general. I mean, things have gotten more efficient and easier. It's funny that you mentioned the phone calls because I had a brother text me earlier today, a secretary of another lodge. He said, "Well, I need to get this done. This person says he wants to remove plural membership. What do you usually do?" I said, "Well, I usually email, Dave at the and he said, "Well, I like to call." I said,
Yeah.
"Well, to each his own, but I like to email and just give them a moment to check the email and then take care of it." I don't like to bum rush everybody. But
The only reason I like emails is because I'm one to while I'm sitting watching TV at night with my family, I'll just keep my laptop open and I can run through those emails. Not that I don't like hearing from everybody, but it gives me an opportunity to work after hours. So,
Well, yeah, and also it keeps it's funny. You see my emails and you'll see a bunch of blacks and then some grays. But that's my list. That's my to-do list. And I don't touch it until I'm ready to touch it.
that's
Right.
right. Yeah.
So when it turns gray, then I'm done with it.
Yep.
I don't plan on looking at it again. So that's my to-do list. So I totally get it. That's
Yeah.
the best way to fly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Want to put a bow on this?
Yeah, you look like you're getting tired, kiddo.
I'm tuckered out. I'm an old man. Well, I'll just keep it short and sweet because what hasn't been said already. You listed a whole bunch of names earlier, Dave, and every one of them, I'm like, that's a fantastic brother. And I mean, a long list of a bunch of great Masons. And so you have, including yourself, I mean, everyone down there at Grand Lodge is just a stellar Mason, doing a great job, really bringing Texas Freemasonry into the modern age. And I applaud you and your efforts. I appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you here again soon, bro.
I can't wait.
What you got, Super Dave?
Oh man, hey guys, I just appreciate the time. I thank you for letting me talk about the Grand Annual Communication. Thank you both for the kind words that you've given me and the staff. We really appreciate it. We do we I as being both of your friends, I really appreciate you guys and what you do for Masonry and in not only in your lodges but in the greater state through this podcast. I really appreciate you guys, and you bring something important to what it means to be a Mason and communicating that through this podcast and through this medium. I really appreciate you guys. Uh, man, I just can't wait to see y'all. Let's get it on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. And for all you brothers out there that are on the way to Grand Lodge and or even before, because this is one of those videos you probably want to listen to a couple of times before you get to Grand Lodge so that you can, make your notes and make your list and check them twice as you're getting there because there is so much going on and Dave and Brad are adding so much more and man, it's just exciting. Just exciting to see what's unfolding these days. The value that is created by by you guys for our grand annual communication for our brethren. I mean, that's something that Justin and I have been talking about for a long time is, adding value in the lodges. And you're doing it on a Grand Lodge level. You're trying to add value to our Freemasonry. And man, I couldn't be more proud. Couldn't be more happy. And I want to thank you for coming on and thank you, Justin, for tolerating Dave and I having this chat session tonight. Otherwise, brothers, you guys keep it between the points.